Straight talk. The Film Cynics with Steve and Brian on CFAX 1070.
Greetings and welcome to the Film Cynics on CFAX 1070. My name is Steve Johnson. I'm your co-host along with my good friend Brian Dukowicz. Brian, how are you today?
I'm doing good.
We got a great show. We're going to talk about the top 10, or top 5 each of 2010. We're going to review The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest, Machete. We've got some vault picks and some trailer picks. But yeah, I think we're going to devote quite a bit of time because I think we have a lot to say about how the last year was in movies. We're getting it just in under the radar. I figure we got to get it in before the end of January. Otherwise, we're
my rule is you have to have them before the Oscars.
Yes,
the
okay.
Oscars is sort of the end of the 2010 movie year.
Yeah, it would be. And I guess it would have been preferable to do it before the Globes, so it doesn't seem like we're ripping off on the Globes picks.
Well,
I swear we're not.
So the problem with it is that I made this big huff about not having my list ready at the beginning of January because I didn't want to be like every other movie blogger and have, just spew out a list at the beginning of the month. But really it was because I hadn't seen all the movies yet.
Yes,
and I had to wait a couple more weeks to get back into it and finally see True Grit and The Fighter and all these other movies.
Now,
so I could have the definitive, in my mind, the definitive list.
And so, so do you think that counts? That counts as far as seeing it after the year?
Oh yeah, because a lot of movies that get released in 2010 don't necessarily get theatrical releases worldwide or nationwide until 2011.
All right.
So movies that are considered for Oscars in 2010 might get only released in the end of December for 2 weeks in New York just to get validity in 2010, but then they get released wide in 2011.
All right.
So I'm totally fine with that. As long as it's got released in 2010 and that's the year it's considered it's released, you can watch it whenever you want.
Okay, now I don't want to lose any momentum here, but I just had a brainstorm. I remembered there was something I wanted to do today on the show. I have a very special gift or prize today, and so if somebody wants to call us and tell us. We have a giveaway related to The Mechanic. So I have a free pass to check out the advanced screening of The Mechanic tomorrow night. Plus, I got a Mechanic toque.
What?
Yeah, I managed to score these things at my local comic book store. Yeah.
Nice work.
The dudes at Legends are very generous. So if you can call us and tell us one film that Ben Foster is in, because we consider Ben Foster, even though he's the co-star or the supporting actor, he's really the star for us. So if you can call us sometime in the next hour, and tell us another film that Ben Foster has been in other than this. And we have reviewed at least one of Ben Foster's films on this show.
Yes.
So you can probably look that up on our website at thefilmcynics.com. Give us a call at 250-386-1161. And, yeah, we'll do it up from there. And
okay. We can do a top 5 list?
Yeah. Let's get rolling. We got number 5. Okay, so are we just going to...
We'll just go back and forth.
Because, yeah, some of them, we got some commonality in here.
Of course we have commonality. We both have great taste. So that's going to happen.
So just before we get rolling, do we consider that 2010 was a good year for movies, or was it just a so-so?
I think it was a good year. It wasn't a great year. I don't think it was the best. There wasn't an overabundance of films that were considered phenomenal, but there's always a good solid chunk of movies.
Yeah.
In my mind. Like you only need like 5 to 10 for it to be a good year.
Right. Well, I mean, really, if you look at all of the films, all films altogether, like B movies, whatever, international films altogether, yeah, how many films do you think get released every year?
Like hundreds.
Yeah. And so there's bound to be, when you separate the wheat from the chaff, there's bound to be something solid in there. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's not a lot of agreement from my picks that everybody said, oh, yeah, these are the winners. But, yeah, there's some quality in here of all different kinds.
My list is pretty solid.
All right.
My number 5 is a movie that not a lot of people have seen, and we're going to want to get to it first and get it out of the way. It's called Exit Through the Gift Shop.
Okay.
It's a documentary about street art directed by Banksy. It's about Banksy, and it's also about this other artist who was in his search for Banksy, ended up finding him. If you're not familiar, Banksy is this world-renowned street artist. No one knows who he is. He just creates art on the street. Like, it's mostly graffiti. It's really well done. And it's a really, really interesting documentary into the whole street art movement.
Now, I'm kind of worried that you're actually going to try and describe this film, because the last time you tried to describe it, you lost me completely.
I can't describe it. It's just something you have to see. It is really interesting and compelling and funny. And
like, I haven't seen it myself, but my impression from what you said is it starts being about one thing, follows one thing, and then all of a sudden it turns into something completely different. Like Banksy almost sort of takes it over in a way.
Exactly. It's a movie about finding Banksy, and then it ends up being a Banksy movie about this other guy who was trying to find him. It's hard to explain, but it's great to watch, and I absolutely loved it.
It has shown up on other people's top lists. I'm going to have to include it in my 2C list at some point.
Definitely.
We got a caller. We got somebody with a guess. It's Gary. Gary, welcome to the Film Cynics.
Oh, hi there. How you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Do you have a guess for us for a Ben Foster film?
Yeah, I do. I think he was, I don't know if it's the same Ben Foster, but he was in the X-Men, The Last Stand.
Oh, yes, that's correct. He played Angel. That's right. I totally forgot about that. Good call. Okay, well, that's good enough to win. You're going to win yourself a toque and a pass. So it's for tomorrow night, 7 p.m. You can pick up your ticket at the station. I'm going to leave you on the phone with TJ. He's going to take all your info. Thanks a lot, Gary.
Yeah, cheers.
I just thought maybe we should have had a list of Ben Foster movies in front of us.
Well, yeah. I thought I was kind of. I always feel so much more intelligent when I have to search my own memory banks. I don't know if you saw my eyes twitter back and forth, like a la Matrix style. And
it was very cool.
Oh yeah, he's the dude with the wings.
So. Steve will figure it out.
Okay, well, so you're number 5, Exit Through the Gift Shop.
Yes.
Very interesting.
What's
documentary.
your number 5?
My number 5 is Kick-Ass by director Matthew Vaughn. It is an adaptation of a comic book by Mark Miller. It is basically almost all shot in Toronto. Some of the interior, like soundstage stuff, was shot in the UK. It's all about a guy who decides he wants to be a superhero. He says, "Why hasn't anybody ever tried to be a superhero before?" And so he does it. Thing is, like, since this movie's come out, there's been several people who've been, why isn't there anybody who's been a superhero? So there's that dude in Seattle. Yeah. I believe there's some guy in Minnesota. There's some guy, they're all over. There's some guy in Milwaukee who like dresses up like a ninja with a baseball bat.
Really?
There's a British ninja I just saw the other day. So they're actually starting to pop up a lot.
That's kind of cool in a weird way.
And that's not why I chose this as my number 5. I just sort of think that's interesting how, our life has imitated art in a way. But I think just like the comic books inspired him, the movie has inspired subsequent people.
I'm surprised it took this long for people to start actually becoming vigilantes.
Well, I'm sure there's people who've been doing the vigilante thing.
But dressing up in costume.
Yeah.
Because Batman's been around forever.
If you check out the guy in Seattle, he's pretty cool. So he actually owns a comic book shop. He's got a secret lair in the back of his shop. Like the shelves in his shop actually, like they kind of open up secret passage-wise. He's got like the full-out Kevlar, and he's got a mask, and he's got like pepper spray and a taser. And
really?
Yeah, he's a full-out dude. Although he just apparently tried to break up some fight where 2 guys were beating the crap out of each other, and he got his nose broken and sent to the hospital.
Just like Kick-Ass.
Yes, pretty much. So anyways, to get back on track with this, this is a great film. Why is it so great? It's not just because of Mark Strong's performance, even though Mark Strong is great. It's because, I would say, of Chloe Moretz. Breakout performance here. She's got a huge career ahead of herself. Follow her on Twitter. She's hilarious.
Really?
She always sends a very friendly good morning message to all of her followers, and she's got a lot of them. And back in the day when her fame was still growing, like on a major scale. So that was before she did Let Me In. She would retweet people if they would ask her to retweet. So she's totally media savvy and everything.
She's like, what, 12 now?
Yeah.
13 years old? That's pretty awesome.
So yeah, great movie.
Yes, totally.
Superhero flick, but without superpowers, and that's what I dig.
Yeah, I do not disagree with that
movie. The second movie is on the way, and should be out probably, I guess, next year.
Cool.
Okay, what's your number 4, buddy?
My number 4 is one that I'm glad I waited to see. It is The Fighter, directed by David O. Russell, starring Mark Wahlberg and Christian Bale. It's a true story of Irish Mickey Ward, a boxer from Boston who's, for most of his career, was sort of like a punching bag and a stepping stone.
Well, see, now you're saying, you were about to say up and coming, but that's not accurate, right? Because he's almost at the end of his career.
Exactly, yeah. He had promise, but he never fulfilled his potential. His older brother, half-brother, was one time a great fighter, but is now a crackhead.
Okay.
Played by Christian Bale. And it's just about their lives together because they are really close, but obviously they have conflicts. And it's his mom who's his manager, played by Melissa Leo, and her problems.
Love her.
She was great. It was just a fantastic movie for the performances of Christian Bale and Melissa Leo. Christian Bale is so awesome as an aging ex-boxing crackhead. He just owns this movie. He's just all over the place and just skinny and withdrawn. Like, looks like a crackhead. The guy's body is made out of rubber. And Melissa Leo, as the overbearing mother, was so hard to watch because she's just so awful, but her intentions were good. But the way she did it was wrong. You just kind of hate her and love her at the same time. And it's a true story, so everything that happens pretty much happens. It's really well shot and directed, and just one of those movies that I thought I would like, but I didn't know that I would love.
Oh, wow.
And I really, really enjoyed it.
Now, let me just, and I don't want to take away from this film at all, but I mean, it does have, it has some it sounds like it's got some similarities, obviously, to Rocky.
Yes.
where would you put it in the sort of pantheon of boxing films?
Oh God, it's up there. It's probably in the top 2 or 3.
So like up there with Raging Bull and
Yeah.
such and such.
Partially because it is like a true story, like Raging Bull is a true story, and Rocky's loosely based around a true story.
Right.
That it's always a good story. Like it's one of those stories it's been told a bunch of times, but you still don't really get tired of it.
Okay.
And I love the way David O. Russell's take on it was really nice, and the way he shot the boxing, he shot it like it was on TV.
Oh,
which
nice.
was kind of cool, and it was very authentic.
I had plans to see it tonight. My plans have all fallen through, but I will. I assure you, I will get there. We got to take a break, but when we come back, we got a lot more to talk about. See if we can pack it in before the news break. Stay with us.